Welcome to the Suburban Homestead blog, and this video is going to be a short video about our compost. Okay, and basically every good gardener, every good suburban homesteader or urban homesteader tries to have a compost pile or compost container of some sort. So if you don't have a compost container or compost pile, you're not a good gardener and you're not a good suburban homesteader, okay? You hear that? Anyhow, what I've done here is I've taken some old shipping pallets and kind of taken them apart a little bit, with a crowbar and a hammer, and turned them into like walls, basically, dividers. Screwed them and nailed them together, and I've got two different compartments here. I'm going to be adding a third compartment eventually, and each of these compartments is about 3.5 feet square. So what we've got is a mixture of table scraps, food scraps, leaves, maybe some tree branches, old garden plants that had died, stuff like that we've tossed in here. And as you can see, it has broken down pretty well. There's still a little bit more composting process to be done for sure. So you can still kind of see some leaves there. And actually this compost pile is quite wet right now, and the reason for that is we've received about 3 to 4 inches of rain in the past 4 or 5 days, so they've gotten very wet, which is not really a good thing for a compost pile. You don't want it to be too wet. You want it to be moist but not soaking wet like this is, because what that does is drives the worms out of it. It flushes out some of the microbes that help break down the soil, and it cools down the compost pile. A good compost pile is going to be pretty warm, hot almost even, and especially as it's in the earlier stages of decomposing. And let me show you. I don't know if you'll be able to see or not, but this compost pile here, like I say, it's more broken down. This is the stuff that's pretty close to being composted. When I turn it every couple of days, to mix it around, help it break down better, I don't really see much in the way of steam coming up from that. However, over here in this compartment, this stuff is not quite as decomposed, and right now if I dig here into the core of the compost pile, hopefully you can see the steam that's coming up, and I can actually feel warmth coming off of that. And so as the composting materials, raw materials, start to break down with the microbes and worms and everything, and they're digesting the raw organic matter, it generates heat. And so you want your compost pile, as it's decomposing, to be just like that, where you come and you dig in the middle of it and you see steam coming up. That means it's warm in there and it's working like it should be. So anyhow, I'll be adding a third compartment here pretty soon, and that'll be for the freshest raw materials, where we'll throw the table scraps and the leaves and the dead plants from the garden into that, let it start to break down. Then this is stage 2. And as it breaks down more, it'll be added over to stage 3, and stage 3 is the final stage. When it's ready, it'll be added to the garden as a natural fertilizer. So that's what we got going right now, and like I say, it's in process, so I'm not quite done with it. Whenever I get it finished, we'll probably go ahead and do another video on it. But in the meantime, thank you for watching this video. Thank you for visiting the Suburban Homestead blog.